fight that.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's the question President Trump has to answer on that one. And for it to happen, how would he account for that? And I was going to get to one more question here. Since we have a few minutes left, if you came across President Trump and he approached you, how would you handle President Trump, or what would you say to him?
Oh man.
Yeah, he'll probably try to say you're fired, or maybe you can say you're fired. Or what if you offer you McDonald's or like a Kentucky Fried Chicken? Would you take from him?
I guess I would ask him, Mr. President, is war in America's future, and do you know about it? And should I be concerned? I guess should I be concerned for my sons who are draft age? I would ask him that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And of course he wouldn't answer, because if it's true, he's not supposed to answer.
Right. Yeah,
he couldn't answer.
Yeah,
I would want.
That's true. Of course, sometimes people wonder. It's like, if President Trump were to come up to you, it's like, what would you say? I guess that's another big concern. There's been talk about that. And, of course, we talked about your music as well, too. And, of course, you're also a musician, and you also wrote some very nice music. And, just to relieve the stress, oh, Lord, you're beautiful. I exalt you. I see him on YouTube. And what led you into writing some music, and where can we find them?
Well, I come from a music background. I was also a worship leader in my, it's a part of my blood. And a lot of times when someone's in ministry, music is part of the package. I guess that's the personality that God calls, or the gifts that he gives, the talents. And everyone has gifts and, talents. So I love music, and I've been working on some music, and I've made some YouTubes, and I have a few that are going to be released soon also. I have a few that I'm working on, and the purpose of those is just spiritual comfort, some sounds for people to meditate in the background while they're doing their spiritual meditations. So that's why I do that.
And so you can find these on YouTube or anything else like Google Play, iTunes. Are those in the works?
I have a website, watchmanscry.com, Watchman, M-A-N-S, Watchman's Cry. And my YouTube channel is the same thing, Watchman's Cry. So, yeah. I have a lot of interesting things on there. Some people, I try to be neutral in my politics, so whether it's Obama or Trump, I'm approaching it from a non-biased point of view. So if I have any criticism, whether they're Democrat or Republican, I say it. Because I don't want to be leaning one way, and because when you do that and you're biased, then it has a way of making it hard to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
And I don't want to be handicapped by that. So I do have some commentary that is critical of whoever's in office, and so I just want to warn with that. Mm-hmm. I have no favoritism.
Yeah, that's a good thing, too. Of course, you go to watchmanscry.com, watchmanscry.com. And, of course, got a few minutes here before we wrap up here. We know you're a very busy guy. What are some of your favorite projects you encountered? What are the biggest challenges you encountered? And what's your most memorable moment when it comes to being on Watchman's Cry?
Well, I'm actually, big projects. Oh, man. I'm working on a book, actually several books, but I'm working on a book, and I haven't really talked about it, but it's already almost 400 to 500 pages, and it's
wow.
It's a fictional novel, yes, about, interesting enough, what we're talking about right now. It's about a family, yes, trying to survive an EMP event, and they have to weather the storm, and there's obstacles, conflict, because people are going to become desperate, so they have to try to survive through the chaos. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm working on there. And then also I have some other projects that I don't talk about much. So one of them is a video project of 3D animation, animated characters, and I'm still working on that. But what I'm trying to do is recreate political characters in 3D and animate them and have them talk and have conversations, get interviewed in 3D.
Look out, Cartoon Network. Here he comes.
What, do you remember Space Ghost? It was on a few years ago. It was very hilarious.
Space Ghost. I remember that. Oh, my goodness. Was that part of the Saturday morning circuit or something? It's like you actually wore pajamas, came downstairs, pour yourself a bowl of your favorite cereal, add a little milk, sit in front of the TV, and watch until about 10, 11, or noon at the latest. Then your parents had to say, come on, get dressed, get outside, got some work to do, or go play with your friends. Was that part of that Saturday morning package?
Space Ghost, so one of the cartoon channels did a Space Ghost, and they made Space Ghost like Johnny Carson to interview people.
Oh, I remember that part. Oh, my goodness. I mean,
that?
Yes, and I remember we were just talking about Johnny Carson and, how Johnny Carson was influential in people's lives. And, of course, with all the things going on with talk shows and everything else, like uttering four-letter words, F-bombs, and, shows like The View and everything else. And, of course, like the Mike Wagner show, just being alternative, just like Johnny Carson. I remember that. I mean, it was okay to spoof. It was okay to be funny. And we were just talking about this a while back, too, how Mel Brooks put out an article about how political correctness is destroying comedy. And we're talking about Blazing Saddles 45 years ago. If they try to put out now, it'd be banned. Back then, it was like they were making fun of racist, racism and everything else. So it was just like the innocent days are pretty much gone, but Saturday morning cartoons it was just amazing. It sounds like a piece of our culture is gone just about.
Yeah. So those are some things I'm working on, and when they're ready, I will put them out. And, writing a book is tedious. It takes a while. So I've been working on it for a few years, but it's almost 500 pages, and it's still going. And I'm excited when the time comes to release that. It'll be exciting.
Looking forward to it, and would like to have you on next time as soon as your book comes out. And I hope we didn't give away most of the plot we were talking about earlier.
No, we didn't, because there's a lot more that is going to be a surprise.
Yes, and we are definitely looking forward to it. And of course, we may have to concoct something like Dexter's Laboratory, the evil scientist, and hopefully we can use that to combat the bad guys, like in Dexter's Laboratory.
Yes, Dexter, he's funny. Yes.
It's hilarious, yeah. And who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
My biggest influence from the spiritual point of view would have to be two ministers who are now departed. One of them is David Wilkerson.
Uh-huh.
And then the other one is Leonard Ravenhill. Mm-hmm. And they are revivalist-type old-fashioned preachers. But David Wilkerson himself, this is interesting, also had glimpses of similar things that America would have war with Russia and China. So, and now he's gone, but he's been a very strong influence.
Very nice, very nice. And what's the best advice you could give if they're looking to get into ministry, being a watchman, or just like a career, writing, or anything? What advice would you give right now?
Oh man, soul search. Just make sure that it's something that you feel that God wants you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that takes the soul searching part.
Mm-hmm. And it does sound like it, too. And, of course, before I let you go here, just one more thing. And, of course, you got a lot of projects as well, too. Tell everybody, where can they find your website? Where can they view your videos and everything else? And how can people contact you?
Again, my website is watchmanscry.com. That's WATCHMANSCRY, watchmanscry.com. Or my YouTube channel is the same name, Watchman's Cry. And there's a contact at my website linked there.
Yeah, yes, that's very amazing. And I'm on it right now, and I'll get to most of your stuff here. And Nathan, just wanted to say it has been great to have you on my program. Thank you very much. You've been an absolute blessing. And I look forward to having your book out. I'd like to have you on again when your book comes out soon.
Sure. Now, as far as there's no ETA on it because there's a lot in there. I mean, there is a lot. So, especially if it's a trilogy, we're talking like 12 to 1,500 pages. So, yeah.
Well, you've got some time on that. And once again, Nathan, a big thank you very much. And just keep being on the lookout and keep doing God's service. And look forward to having you on again soon. All right. Thank you very much. You've been listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios at themikewagnershow.com. Visit sonicwebstudios.com today for all your web design needs. If you would like to be a sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, call or text at 701-301-7705 or email to mike@themikewagnershow.com. If you're a listener and would like to support our program, visit themikewagnershow.com and click on the support button and donate today. Thanks for listening, and tune in again next time on The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com.